What is going on, guys? This is the Indy Kid coming at you. This is the Orange Blazer Live, coming at you with a smile on my face, coming at you after a big win tonight, a big bounce back by Tennessee, 82-71 over Kentucky. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Got Volunteer Nation. Go Vols, Volunteer Nation. Hope things are going good, buddy. Donovan Milliken, let's go. Jaden and Keon show. That's absolutely right. Foxtown men, that's what we need to see when they're focused way better. Zach Hamilton became a YouTube member. We appreciate you, Zach. A lot of you guys here in the chat tonight. Just a big night. Jeremy Webb, yo, fellas. Yo, Jeremy. Good to have you, man. El Nino, let's go. Lucas Sharp, what a night by Keon. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. It's what a night tonight. And I saw Trey tune in on there. The diapers were dandy tonight. And there's Tiffany Fannin. Thank you, Vols. One of my friends died yesterday. It's made the day much better. Hey, Tiffany, thoughts and prayers to you and your friend, for peace and comfort. And you know, things like this sometimes, sports is kind of, we think sports may not be a big deal sometimes, but sometimes sports do provide that comfort. They provide that positive for us. But so definitely thoughts and prayers out to you, your friend, their family, and all. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. But who would have imagined, really, after Tuesday night, Tennessee, for lack of a better term, crapped the bed against Ole Miss? It didn't look good for a while tonight. I know there were some text messages going on with me and some buddies of mine, and it did not look good for a while. But, man, second half. And who would have thought, really, John Fulkerson, 0 points tonight, and this team still goes to Kentucky and wins 82-71. And we saw tonight, and just when I'm looking down, I'm looking at Tom Traveler, how about them Tennessee Volunteers? That's absolutely right. Overcame the home cooking. Man, is that not a true statement right there? Battling COVID right now. Zach Hamilton, get better soon, my friend. It's a tough thing right now. A lot of people affected by it. Hope you get better soon. My old buddy Elam is in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Kenny Jones, Keon Johnson is just getting started. What a night from him tonight. Him and Springer, 50 points combined, 50 out of 81. Josiah-Jordan James, 10 and 10, double-double for him. Victor Bailey, 9 points. Man, who would have thought 0 points out of Fulkerson and you still go to Kentucky and win by 11? Yeah, Keon straight ball tonight. I was looking at a mock draft today, actually, on ESPN.com, and they had Keon going 7th overall. May have been the Bulls. I may be wrong on that. I'd have to look at it again. They didn't have Springer going again until the second round right there. So I don't credence. If Keon's a top 10 pick, I don't see it. I would love for him to come back, but if these guys are first-round locks, just like Grant Williams a couple years ago, you can't blame them for leaving. I know if I had a chance, I'd be out the door in a heartbeat. Obviously, I've never had that chance and never will. But, yeah, Zach Hamilton, Fulkerson's watching his minutes disappear. Somebody needs to get Fulkerson a bag of hot dogs and fries or cheddar rounds from Pals or something. I don't think this guy's had his Pals in a while. Need to get him a good sweet tea or something to get him back going again. But brought the fight to Kentucky in the second. It was a tough first half, and I saw Ron Slate had a tweet. It was pretty funny that even they've called a foul on Bernard King at this point, and it was just like ridiculous. But that's Kentucky for you. You go to Rupp Arena, you know what you are getting, and my brother Elam, Barnesy finally letting the freshman play. Absolutely. That's your main players at this point. Keon Johnson and Jaden Springer. I think Josiah-Jordan James, seems like since he kind of got demoted a little bit, he has stepped his game up. Now, I thought it was cool at the end where, 79-71, 3 seconds going to shot clock, throw it in, James bombs a three, icing on the cake right there. I mean, it's just looking at this, Fulkerson didn't get the opportunity. Yeah, he kind of, I think the stats are a little bit misleading. He was in foul trouble tonight. I know he was out quick. You had Kama who was in. He got in foul trouble quick. You had Euros in, 8 minutes into the game? That guy's normally not in, luckily, with 8 minutes to go in the game. But, we'll take it, guys. After Tuesday night, I was really down on this team. The Orange Blazer for this week was not going to be positive. I really thought, especially when Tennessee was up Tuesday night by 11 points and they blew that game, just such a negative. But, a couple of you guys talking about Triple J right there. Yeah, I think he's the leader right now. I really do. He seems to do a lot of things. He's getting the boards. He's kind of your all-around guy. Maybe not the highest scorer, but like David Gibbs says, Triple J's always getting boards. He is the glue. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think especially since he's coming off the bench now, I think that he has stepped his game up that much more. And Justin C. asked, do you guys think we have a chance to win the SEC tournament? Absolutely, I do. But I also think it depends on which team shows up right there as well. I saw a quote earlier in the week on Go Vols 24/7 from Grant Ramey. And this is not going to be exactly word for word, but it's going to kind of be in the range where he said, on a good night, this team's a 3 seed, and their ceiling is Final Four. But on a bad time, their floor is probably around maybe a 7 seed, somewhere in that range. And, they're beat by 10 points in the first round. I couldn't agree more on that. And so I want to hit this super chat real quick. Christopher Simpson for $5. Awesome game. Go Vols. Absolutely. Thanks, Christopher. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you contributing right there. I'd kind of decided I was going to go live. And actually, Tennessee was down at that point. And I was like, I don't know what I'm getting into tonight. Wasn't a lot of positive. But then, the text messages from myself and friends of mine, they weren't positive because the game wasn't going positive. I know around the point in time where I had said it, Kentucky got it like a breakaway jam. They were feeling cocky. They were feeling confident. But then from that point forward, it was a big orange swarm, a big orange storm that took over. And, I don't care if Kentucky's 20-0. I don't care if they're 0-20. When it comes to basketball, that is the rivalry. That is the game. And who cares? Who cares what Kentucky's record is? I'm never going to feel sorry for Kentucky. They sure as hell didn't feel sorry for Tennessee in football this year when they come to Knoxville and beat our brains out. I'm sure as hell not going to feel sorry for them tonight that they're having a tough year. And we went up there and beat them by 11. And I fully anticipate when they come to Knoxville again next month that we'll beat them again. And, Kentucky still has some talent. It's just not worked out for them this year for whatever reason. And, it's not because Calipari's a bum or anything like that. Sometimes it just doesn't work, especially when you play that one-and-done route so many years like they do. But, got a big win for my birthday. Happy birthday, Dustin. $2. Thank you so much. Happy day. Go Big Orange. Yeah, it's awesome. Yep. Happy birthday, brother. I'm glad they gave you a good present tonight. Hope you have a good day the rest of the day. Tiffany Fan German maxim: success is not owned, only rented, and the rent is due every day. You got to get that mentality. Absolutely. That applies to anything right there. Absolutely. Cannot take a day for granted. Justin C., we should need a good football team to go for our basketball team. Yep. Triple J had double-double. Yep. I mentioned that earlier, Bruno. Absolutely. Thank you. Yep. He stats right here I've got pulled up on my phone. Triple J had 10 points, 10 rebounds, no assists. He was 4 of 10 field goals, 2 of 6 from three-point range. Don't have minutes tonight or anything. The shooting numbers weren't off the charts tonight. Just, of course, 47% field goals, 5 of 19 three-pointers. Looking right here, held Kentucky to 38%, which was not too bad. 23% three-point. We did out-rebound Kentucky tonight, which was big. Just kind of curious here. I'm looking back at Ole Miss the other night. Big difference right there. Got out-rebounded 37-30. I mentioned last week on the Orange Blazer how when Tennessee bounced back the week before, rebounding margins were so big. That's what's troubled that team is the rebounding margins. And, I've looked at assist-to-turnover ratio as well. I don't have that all in front of me tonight. I've got the assists. I just don't have the turnovers here. But, I said it with some friends of mine earlier tonight. The Ole Miss loss was bad, but if we go up to Kentucky and win tonight, yeah, that I can forgive that for the week. You can have that slip up, and I don't think we could have afforded both for this week if it would have been 2 losses right there. But resident genius freshman grew up tonight, really helped us out. Absolutely. It's a blowout tonight, if not for these guys. It is an absolute blowout. And we've seen games like this from these kids. We've seen some decent kids. Or I say like that, we haven't seen games like this from it. And David gives COVID seems to be hurting when it does schools, Duke, North Carolina, Kansas, Kentucky. Who would have thought tonight? Now, I saw Wes Rucker make a comment earlier. And I'll be honest, I'm not crazy about him, but, he's a smart guy. I'll give him credit. But he made the comment of who would have thought on a Saturday night you would see Duke versus Carolina at 6 o'clock, Kentucky versus Tennessee at 8 o'clock, and Tennessee would be the only ranked team of the 4 right there. Who would have thought? Strange times, and I totally agree with him right there. But thank you, Kenny Jones. You're the man. Appreciate you tuning in tonight. Bruno Ham, 11 turnovers, 10 assists tonight. Yeah, that's the one thing that I've noticed a lot that this team struggles with is assists to turnovers. And something took over, and especially like the last 10 to 12 minutes, give or take, in that range, where this team just I feel they got a lot of turnovers late. It felt like Kentucky would bring the ball up, and Tennessee was getting a break the other way right there. But, how good can this team be? That's what I'm curious to see moving forward, because it seems to me like hit and miss. You saw the games against Florida and Missouri. They come back and struggled to beat Mississippi State. And then they blew Kansas out of the water. Tuesday night was a absolute – they crapped the bed against Ole Miss. And then tonight, for at least, I don't know, would you say 3/4 of the game maybe, that they didn't play their best? But, man, the last 10 minutes, they bombed it. And, just awesome job. Fulky's still struggling. He's like a light bulb. He's either on or off. He is. And, I thought last year, prior to the season getting shut down, he was carrying them a lot down the stretch. But I don't know. Like I said, maybe that guy needs a bag full of cheddar rounds from Pals right now or something to get him going. But we need him. we're going to need him down the stretch because we don't have a lot of post guys. But I like that, it's, a couple of you guys have mentioned it. I like that it seemed that the freshmen were turned loose tonight. And I've said it for a couple of weeks on the Blazer. I really think that those two guys need to be in the starting lineup. And personally, I think your best five is Keon, Springer, Triple J, Pons, and Fulkerson. Now I've said it depends on the night. And I like Vescovi. I like Victor Bailey. I think they're good players and they provide some. But I think when it boils down to it, that is your best five guys. But, if Triple J is playing better off the bench and he is in the starting lineup, that's what it takes to get him going, so be it. Bring him off the bench right there. But I think one thing that's kind of bothersome is before the season started, I really felt that this was a deep team. They could go close to 10 deep. We're most of the way through the season. This is basically a 7-deep team. You get Kamha, who's given a little bit of minutes. Uros is nothing. Anasicki, basically nothing. Pember, we don't see him much. Gaines, I think Gaines provides some decent minutes when he plays, but they don't play him a whole lot right there. But, just imagine if you had a Kennedy Chandler who's coming in next year to go along with what we have now. And unfortunately, I just don't see – I definitely – if the mock draft I was looking at today is any indication, there's no way Keon Johnson's coming back, and I can't blame him. And who knows at what point I think Springer's got a real decision to make. Triple J's going to have a decision to make because he was a 5-star coming out. From the mock drafts I've seen, he's not listed. I just don't see if if you've got eligibility remaining and you're not a for sure thing, if you forgo that, maybe you can go to the D League or you can go to Europe and make some money. But Zach Hamilton, if Keon will clean up his turnovers, he can be best freshman in the conference. Absolutely. Absolutely. He was on fire tonight. And, the thing with Tennessee right now as well, they've only lost one game when Springer has played the full game. And I saw a poster on Go Vols 24/7. I'm not sure if it was his own research, if he'd gotten it from someone else. I don't have it in front of me because I'd like to give him the credit. I don't want to plagiarize it at all. But he just mentioned how when Springer's in that they take smarter shots, it seems like. And, it makes a lot of sense right there. They're not just running, gunning, and firing away. Yeah, Kenny, I don't see Josiah-Jordan James going either. I know last year he was kind of mentioned some mock drafts. I've not seen him mentioned much this year. I definitely think he has a shot to make it. I just don't know if this is the year right here. But you got to think Pons can come back. Fulkerson can come back. Based on how Pons was close to going last year, I don't see him coming back. Who knows with Fulkerson? He is a fifth-year senior. Maybe he's over it at this point. I think regardless that Tennessee's going to have to hit the transfer portal and hope they can get an impact big guy. I know Anasicki said he's coming back, but let's face the facts. If he's providing no more than he has at this point, do you really want to tie up that scholarship or not? And, I hope he becomes a true asset. Abbey Road, big win. Oh, yeah. It's always a big win when you beat Kentucky. There is no doubt about it. But just will take a minute. You guys know the drill. If you're in here, make sure you obliterate that like button. Not just smash it, but obliterate it. We just got to win over Kentucky tonight. Hit that like button. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And just want to plug also on here. I'm not sure if it's been plugged on Twitter or not right now or on social media, but we are all planning on going live tomorrow at 3 o'clock before the Super Bowl. Just go talk some odds and ends. Obviously go talk some football, but make sure you guys tune in there. But we'll save the football chat for tomorrow. This is a basketball show. This is the Orange Blazer. Yeah, a lot of people, I won't see Walker play. I'm curious, Bruno, as well about Corey Walker. I know he was pretty highly thought of coming out. I'm not sure if he's still injured or what the deal is. I can't imagine he's that far behind in the rotation if you got guys that, because you basically got Fulkerson and Pons. You don't have, Kamha's providing a little bit of minutes. Euros, as he played out of necessity tonight. Drew Pember's rarely ever playing. Maybe I'm forgetting somebody along the way, but yeah, I think if Corey Walker is available, if he's healthy, let's see what he's got at some point here. Maybe he can provide some minutes. And some of these guys as well, your Anasicki, your Euros, your Pember, your Gaines, they don't have to come in and be superstars right here. They don't have to come in and score 10, 15, 20 points. They just need to provide good minutes. They just need to provide a rest right there. Paul Matthews, Keon, and Jaden rocked it. Yeah, they did. 50 points combined tonight. Yeah, they put on a show tonight. That was awesome to see. And I think a lot of us, you guys that have tuned in here, I've said it on the Blazer in weeks that I think it was time to turn those guys loose. And I think Rick Barnes turned those guys loose tonight. And they took over. They absolutely took over in the second half. And again, your only other double-digit scores, there's been a lot of games where there's been like 6 scorers in double figures and maybe some guys close. But tonight it was Keon 27, Springer 23, Triple J 10 and 10, and Victor Bailey. Now, I like Victor Bailey. I'm a Victor Bailey guy. I know his defense is not the greatest in the world, but man, he's looking to score. And I really feel that the thing that hurts his team at times, tonight was not that night, but I feel what hurts his team a lot of times is they're too unselfish. And, it's a good problem to have that you're too unselfish, but when it comes down to it, you've got to have that alpha. You got to have that person who wants to take over. We saw it tonight. And, we had great misses equals not only too many passes shooter. Yep, absolutely. I think there's been times, David, I really think there's been times where they have been too passive right there. They just poured water balls on Keon in the locker room to celebrate. That's awesome. This is a close-knit team. There's not any egos on there. They're very unselfish. They're very supportive of one another. It was great that Rick Barnes stayed. We can criticize Rick here and there. we said on the with some buddies of mine and I, if they lost again tonight, Rick might have to walk back to Knoxville. But Rick's riding the bus tonight, guys. He's not walking tonight. If he maybe could have walked back from Oxford Tuesday night, but I felt sorry for him, let him back on the bus. But I think this team's going to go as far as these freshmen take them. And but I also in turn don't think that if you get you can't have many nights to where Fulkerson's not scoring. So that's a tough thing right there. But Fulkerson's better than this. We all know it. Sometimes you hit those spurts, you hit those things. And right now, just going to we got our brand new merchandise store online. Go let Boogie share this for us real quick. Just want to lead into that. Let you guys take a look at it real quick. Got some cool stuff on here. We got the new Mount Rushmore Talkin VAWLS shirt right here, which is it's got all of our ugly mugs on it. Hopefully that camera, if you see a little bit of cracked glass, it's because one of us probably cracked the glass on that picture right there. We got some cool merchandise, and there's more to come later on. Got your good Talkin VAWLS coffee mug. Sure, a bunch of you got the old school Talkin VAWLS hoodie, got the old school Talkin VAWLS podcast t-shirt, Talkin VAWLS egghead, and then the state pride logo stuff as well. So a lot of cool stuff on there. There's Talkin VAWLS basketball stuff as well. If you guys get a chance, I know times are tough right now, absolutely, but if you see something you like, make sure you check that out. We definitely appreciate it, and we really like our Mount Rushmore shirt we got going right now. It's a pretty cool logo. Appreciate Boogie's stepbrother creating that. I know he put a lot of work into it, but and there's a link right there, Talkin VAWLS Network, www.bonfire.com/store/talkingvols. So looking back through the comments here, let's see what we've got here. Kama's coming along too. I think he got in foul trouble pretty quick tonight, so his minutes got minimized. Didn't talk back about John or Abbey Road. Just said John needs, John's not playing good right now. That's an honest quote. That's an honest fact. That's not trashing the guy. He's been a great volunteer. Love the guy. He is in a bit of a funk right now. We need him out of it. This team needs him going down the stretch. Bruno Ham, loved hearing the Tennessee flag flying over Rupp. What was it I saw on the telecast? There's some construction going on, and evidently they hired an outfit from Tennessee, and up on the crane, they happened to fly that orange and white flag. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Whoever did that is a fantastic volunteer. Man, that is so cool that they did that. I don't care. I don't care if it's in good taste or not. That is so cool. Tiffany Fan and Peyton Manning going to the Hall of Fame. I was wondering if that was breaking tonight because I'd seen Charles Woodson. I had seen Drew Pearson, Calvin Johnson, Alan Faneca. You knew it had to come. So congratulations to Peyton Manning, one of the great volunteers of all time right there. Just want to plug that real quick. Jason L., that flag over Rupp was awesome. Man, how cool was that? That was the coolest thing ever. You fly that flag over Rupp, and then you go up there and you own Rupp tonight. It again, doesn't matter if Kentucky's 20-0. It does not matter if they're 0-20. When you go to Kentucky and win in Rupp Arena, it is awesome. It is awesome right there. So, Superior still out of Knoxville. There you go. True volunteers right there. Superior still. Awesome job, guys. Awesome job flying that flag tonight. Are we sure the University of Kentucky wasn't founded by the University of Tennessee? Let's put it this way. The University of Tennessee owns the University of Kentucky tonight. Unfortunately, they've owned us part of the year as well. So it kind of goes back and forth. But I know at this point in time, Rick Barnes is 8-5 against Kentucky. So he has turned the tide of that a little bit. Tennessee is on the right side of it. So we'll see. Hopefully, when it's all said and done here, 9-5 at the end of the year. But, I always think it's funny that if you look at football, you've got the big rivalries are Alabama and Florida, which Alabama obviously hasn't been much of a rivalry lately, and Florida really hasn't either. That's your big rivalries there. But then you turn it around to basketball, and it's Kentucky and Vanderbilt. Not that those teams are not rivals in football, because they are, but, I mean, do we really consider Alabama and Florida and Georgia? Georgia's a big rivalry in football as well. I think we could consider Florida probably the third rival in basketball. Florida's definitely a rival in football. I don't really know that Alabama's a rival in basketball. We don't want to lose to them, but I just don't see that there's that rivalry there. And same with Georgia, maybe a little bit of one. I would say South Carolina's more of a rivalry for basketball than Georgia is. But, that may be because I'm living down here in South Carolina country as well. But TD Kirkland, best 10 minutes I've seen out of this bunch this season. Oh, yeah. Finished strong. I would say probably the only stretch it would compare and maybe as good would be maybe the Kansas game last week. Rocky Top Rowdy, what's up, Indie Kid? Go Vols. Believe Coach Barnes, first coach ever beat Kentucky more than once at Rupp. First time in school history beating them back-to-back. Good stuff, man. I couldn't remember if Pearl beat them both times or not. I know Pearl beat them once for sure because it came down to the end. I think it was a low-scoring game, right around the 50s, but I could not remember if he beat them more than once. I'm pretty sure he beat them more than once in Knoxville there, but that's a rough place to play. Maybe, obviously, it's a little different environment without the crowd, but it is what it is. Everybody's playing under the same. Pearl only beat them once. Thank you. I could remember the one time, but I could not remember any others. And I think Jerry Green beat them. I'm going to go off at what you said, first coach to ever beat them more than once. I know Jerry Green beat them once there. That's when, I know they still had Hathaway. I can't remember who else was on the team. Meant back-to-back wins at Rupp. Yeah, first time back-to-back wins. Maybe Mizzou with Konzo's arrival. It's getting there. There's no doubt about it. Konzo, I'll give the guy credit. He's done a good job this year, and I was not – I'll say when he was here, I thought he underachieved. I absolutely did not agree with the petition to get rid of. I thought it was embarrassing. The thing with Konzo Martin is he followed Bruce Pearl, who was basically like people loved him here. People loved him. Brandon Wharton. Yep, Brandon Wharton was a good Vol. Really good player when he was there. Marcus Hayslip. Yeah, Marcus Hayslip, he left junior year? That was an underachieving team. You had Hayslip, Ron Slay, and Vincent Yarborough, and those guys didn't even make the tournament. And I think you had John Higgins with them. What a waste, man. What a waste. Not of those guys. What a waste that team did not at least make a tournament because you had some NBA talent right there. Two of the three. Slay, I think, kind of played a little bit professionally there, but Hayslip had a lot of talent. He was a freak athletically. Vincent Yarborough was underrated. He was a good player, but yeah, man, that team didn't even make the tournament. Crazy, right there. I think that was Buzzball. That was around the time of Buzzball, and I remember when Buzzball took over. I was excited about him, and he just never got the job done. It seems like he recruited some decent ball players because as soon as Bruce Pearl took over, I mean, he rolled with him to a 2 seed the first year. Konzo actually left on his own, resident genius. Now, would he have left on his own for what is a petition and stuff? I don't know that he would have. It stunk. I thought he underachieved, though. The unfortunate thing was it took Konzo getting a petition to get gear because that team had some talent right there. And then they end up making the Sweet 16 run. Very easily could have gotten the Elite 8 right there. Jarnell Stokes got a charge call, very questionable charge call at the end against Michigan in that Sweet 16 game. But Michael Lee, Tony Harris. Tony Harris, man, he was a good player. But I felt he was one under Jerry Green where he regressed as he went along. Because when he was a freshman, he was very good. Sophomore, I think that's when they made a Sweet 16 run. And then, I can't remember if it was his junior. I know the senior year they went out against Charlotte in the first round. And it shouldn't have happened. They ended up being a 8 or 9 seed and bounced out. And they had so much talent that year. Buzz Peterson was trash. He left Chris Lofton. Yeah, who would have thought, man? Who would have thought Lofton could shoot the absolute lights out? The closest I can think to him was Allen Houston, because Allen Houston some of you guys may remember it, back when Wade Houston was coach. Tennessee was horrible. They were horrible, but Allen Houston was he was a stud, and he did good things in the NBA as well. Pearl went to the tourney all 6 years he was coach. At 2019, made Elite 8. Yeah, it was fun. Elite 8, lost to Michigan. Yeah, man, that was I remember I pitched an absolute fit over that. I used to take stuff a little harder than I do now, but I remember we had a chance. Hobson missed the free throws, goes down, we get a foul on the other end, and then I did think at the end of that game we had a timeout to burn, and they just heaved a half quarter, and it was a desperation heave right there. But yeah, Dale Ellis was a stud. Dale Ellis, you had, of course, Bernard King and Ernie. That was back in the late 70s. I remember seeing Bernard King playing the NBA. Obviously, when he come in, I was a baby at best right there. But in my lifetime, Tennessee basketball players that were the best, you had Allen Houston. Allen Houston's hard. Dale Ellis, I was pretty young when Dale Ellis, but he was awesome. Tony White, I don't know, some of you guys may remember Tony White. Carlos Groves, they were good ball players. Not greatest that I've seen, but they were good. Tony White was really good. He's a Tennessee legend, I would say. Could shoot the absolute lights out. Allen Houston. Some of those Jerry Green. Kevin O'Neal. One thing I'll say about Kevin O'Neal, I didn't think Kevin O'Neal was much of a coach. He could absolutely recruit right there. And when he ended up leaving, I'd say I'm trying to think who it was. Mike Miller was one of them. It was, of course, we remember Mike Miller. He went to Florida, had a decent NBA career. I think he had a chance to be a Vol. Could be wrong on that, but I know they were recruiting him pretty heavy. But O'Neal left Jerry Green some talent down there. He absolutely left some talent. And but none of those guys I thought were, we had some really good players there, but Lofton, I mean, you got to love Chris Lofton, especially what he went through with cancer. Yeah, absolutely, Tiffany. Played through cancer. He was a stud. Chris Lofton was awesome. Tyler Smith was – I remember the whole Tyler Smith thing with Buzz. He ended up going to – he didn't commit. It was pretty well thought that Tyler Smith and Jamont Gordon were both coming to Tennessee, and something happened. I think that's when Pearl was coming. And then Buzz used up the visits, and there was some miscommunication there. So Jamont Gordon ended up going to Mississippi State. Tyler Smith ended up at Iowa. And, of course, he came back. He was a hell of a player for Tennessee up until the issues senior year. And I can't remember what all happened now, but I know Tyler Smith got kicked off the team there. But he was a good player. I'm not sure if I don't know if any of these guys are still playing or not. Some of them may still be playing. I think Tyler Smith had gone overseas. I think J.P. Prince had gone overseas. I'm not sure about Chisholm. You had Cameron Tatum. Not sure Swiper Boy's still rapping or not. I know I like Swiper Boy. I thought he was a decent player. He was kind of hit or miss. I know when they had the guys who were suspended, guns hold up. Yep, it was something like that. But I remember my wife had gotten us tickets. I can't remember. I think it was the Elite 8 year when all that happened. Kansas came to Knoxville, ranked number 1. It's like, yeah, it'd be cool to see Kansas. And sure enough, Tennessee went down and knocked them off. And Thompson Bowling Arena was absolutely electric that day. It was so cool. And, guys like Swiper Boy who hadn't had as much chance stepped up that day. But so cool, so fun right there. Ron Slay. He did some I think he played overseas for a bit. Ron Slay was a fun ball. He was wild right there. Yeah, TD, I think Tony White had some health issues here recently. I haven't heard how he's doing recently. I think maybe, was it last year they had honored him at some point? KO was losing his hair. Yeah, KO was – yeah, he was an interesting cat right there. He was an excellent recruiter, but he was one of those slow-down, slow-paced coaches right there. Possession of firearms, serial number scratched off. Yeah, it was something to where they really didn't have a choice with Tyler Smith and those guys. And, I think these coaches, I can say this as a teacher. You've got guys – I'm not comparing myself to these coaches, but those guys who need a little extra they maybe don't have that support. I'm not saying any of these guys, I don't know, and I'm not assuming it, but as a coach, you've got to know your players. You've got to know where they come from. You got to know their backgrounds. And I think sometimes we see guys who get in trouble a little bit more, and they get that little bit of extra leeway right there. There's a reason for that. I think if you come from a high-profile family, straight and narrow and all, I think there's a little less leeway there. Maybe not. I can't say on that. You're going to give everybody a second chance unless it's just out of your hands. But, I think that's what happened there was some of those guys that just didn't have a choice right there. But I think the way Houston era pretty much open tee. I think that was around the time they had curtains around the arena, didn't they? You could basically show up at game time and and get courtside seats there for about $5. It's kind of like back in I'm trying to remember the year my wife and I were dating at the time when we went to Atlanta, and I'm a Raiders fan, so we're going down to watch the Raiders play. Michael Vick was still the quarterback in Atlanta. I think Kerry Collins was the Raiders quarterback. So we had tickets. She got me tickets for my birthday for that. But the Hawks were in town that weekend, and we walked down to the arena on Saturday night. I talked her into going to the game. And I talked to a scalper. I didn't know where the arena was. He led us where we wanted to go. And, he asked me for one ticket. I was like, I just want to know where the arena's at. He showed me where it's at, and he's like, now, do you need tickets? So I asked him how much, and I can't remember the price they gave us. And he told us all his stuff that went with it. And I was like, no, I'm good. And he's like, man, it's cold. I'm ready to go home. How much do you offer me? And I said, I'll give you $30 a piece. And he said, you give me 40 and we'll call it a deal. I said, all right. So we got the tickets, and I told her, I said, I don't know what we're getting into when we go down here. We got in there and we got the absolute red carpet treatment. We had courtside seats, third rows when the Hawks were playing New Jersey Nets. They had Jason Kidd at the time. The Hawks, that was Josh Smith. Who else they have at the time? Antoine Walker was playing in Atlanta that year, but Josh Smith's rookie year. So, yeah, kind of comparing that to the Wade Houston era, you could probably get a courtside seat in Thompson Bowling for nothing. But got some people mentioning Dane Bradshaw. Pretty cool that Dane's on a lot of these telecasts now and stuff, calling the games. He was a guy under Buzz Peterson. I was like, man, this guy is just not doing it. But under Pearl, he wasn't a perfect player, but, man, he did so much good for them. Yeah, J.P. Prince and Dane Bradshaw played on the same White Station team. Where was it J.P. started out? Arizona, I believe, and then he transferred back. That was a big thing during Pearl's tenure was he was able to get Tyler Smith and J.P. Prince both to transfer back, and they provided so much during that time as well. But, people don't realize it. We're sitting here talking about this in the comments, and, Tennessee's got a nice history. And, when I come up with the Orange Blazer, and you guys remember, it goes back to Ray Mears. And Ray Mears used to break out the Orange Blazer. I'm not sure if he broke it out for all the games or if it was just, special games. But I know that when Bruce Pearl became the coach, all of a sudden when it was Kentucky and Vanderbilt, he's breaking out the Orange Blazer every week. And, it's a big game when that Orange Blazer comes out. I don't know that Rick had it on tonight, actually. He's not worn one most of the time. I can't really say I paid attention on the game. But so Kentucky, so it's always been Kentucky and Vandy. All right. So, and then, these guys have carried it on right there. That's where the Orange Blazers come from. I think it's a cool tradition. I wanted to find something with that. With Tennessee basketball, and there is some tradition there. A lot of you guys may remember, of course, you've got Thompson Bowling now, but the old Stokely, I think Stokely's been torn down at this point. But, cool. Just a cool night, man. Just cool to come on here and, a positive win. Again, it is awesome to go up to Kentucky and win. And you know it. When you go to Kentucky, you're playing more than Kentucky right there. You're going to play more than Kentucky. It just is what it is. And but we'll see where they go going forward. Moving forward, I know, let me pull up the schedule right here. I think we got Florida this week. I think this team right now, 45 killed. Yeah, he did, Corey. Absolutely. 45 lit it up tonight. He absolutely lit it up. Let me pull the basketball schedule up here for the week. We've got still got a couple makeup games. Just one February 10th against Florida at 8 p.m. That's on ESPN2, and it looks like next weekend at LSU. So this schedule doesn't get easier. Florida tonight, or not Florida tonight, Florida middle of the week, LSU next weekend, South Carolina at home the 16th, got Kentucky again the 20th, at Vanderbilt the 24th, at Auburn the 27th, Georgia March 3rd. And then curious to see here, what are they even going to make up at Vanderbilt and at South Carolina? Right, I hope they make up at South Carolina. I hope I can get a chance to go to that game. I went up last year. Unfortunately, it didn't go too good. But, there's still ways to go right here. There is still a ways to go. I think this team's firmly in the tournament. I think it's just a matter of playing for seeding at this point. And there was a point in time I thought maybe they had a shot to get to a number one. They would have had a lot go their way, because you got to think Gonzaga and Baylor are for sure number one. I think it's up in the air after that. I really thought, I'd mentioned earlier about Grant Ramey on 24/7 talking about he thought at this team's best they were a 3 seed. I really thought this team could get to a 2 seed. They were ranked high enough at one point, and I thought they had the resume enough to get to a 2 seed. And they're still ranked 11th. I don't think if they would have lost both games, I think you would have seen them drop down close to 20th. Now that they've kind of evened it out, I still wouldn't be surprised if they don't drop a little bit, but I don't think it'll be a whole lot. I think it'll be pretty similar to what they are. But you better be sure you got Florida coming to town this week on the 10th. You better come in ready to get them, because they embarrassed Tennessee the first time around. And, if these guys aren't fired up when they come to play Florida, I don't know what to tell them right there. You get your asses beat like that by 20-some points, you need to have some fire in your eyes when you come in. And then at LSU, I mean, how many close games have we had with them over the years? I can think back a couple years ago when Grant Williams and those guys, Schofield and those guys were there, how that went. That was a rough loss right there. That was a tough one. That was a close one. There were some questionable calls on that. So, you always got to be fired up for LSU and any conference games, really. I mean, it doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's Kentucky. It doesn't matter if it's South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, whomever. It's a conference game. It's a big deal. But, the main thing with this team, as we're seeing right now, they're hit and miss. You'll see a good one night. You will see, basically like they don't show up the next night or something. I would say for this week, they showed up for part of the game against Ole Miss. Unfortunately, the part they did show up for was the worst part. In turn tonight, they didn't show up for part of it, but the part they did show up for was the best part to show up for. So, we'll see where they go going forward. I don't know what to expect out of them coming tournament time. I think there's, I agree with, I've quoted Grant on there. I think if this team's hitting on all cylinders, they have their ceilings Final Four. I'm not sitting here telling you that I'm predicting they're going to the Final Four. Don't take me wrong there. Don't misquote me on that. But I think they have the potential for it. And but they also, as you've seen, based on Tuesday night, they could get bounced in the first round. So we'll see. how you're playing in January, how you're playing in February doesn't. Obviously, you want to play good, but if you're not, it's not the end of the world. Come March, that's when it matters right there. It'd be cool to see them win a conference championship, regular season and tournament. They haven't done that in a while. And then I'd like to see what they got against Baylor and Gonzaga. I really hate that Gonzaga game earlier this year was canceled. I'd like to see how his team stacked up with them, especially at that point in time, because they were playing really good basketball then. And I'm not saying they could have beaten Gonzaga by any means, but I think they could have definitely put a show on. But, as long as we're on the fifth seed, we're good. Yeah, that fifth seed's tough, man, because you get in there with a lot of times these 12 seeds that's a lot of the time where your big upsets come in that fifth seed range. Fifth, 11th, fifth, sixth seed. That's a lot of your upsets you see at times. But what's cool, and I've been waiting for it, and I think we all have, is waiting to see these freshmen take over, and they did it tonight. And I think it's time to ride these guys moving forward. You let these two do it, because I don't know what you're going to have them past this year. I don't know if you're going to have either one of them past this year. I've made mention a couple times about Keon Johnson top 10 lottery. Jaden Springer, was listed as a second rounder. So his stock, the last I had seen, he was around a lottery pick. So I don't really know how his stock has dropped, because he's not done a whole lot for his stock to drop. But, maybe they're seeing something I haven't. And a lot of times the NBA stock's strange anyway. But I can't imagine that both these guys aren't first-round picks. And if they are, they've got to go. You've got to go right then. Again, as somebody who never experienced it or anything, if I have that money in front of me, I'm gone. And I don't think there's too many that don't. I had a kid coaching baseball, my first year coach, assistant coach, one of the kids that played for us, and Grant had nothing to do. But my first group of students I taught and coached graduated this past year. One of the kids got drafted in the second round, MLB, this past year. He was going to Duke for baseball, and once that $1 million signing bonus got flashed, yeah, he took it, and you can't blame him, because education's going to be there for it. But they looked like first round picks tonight. They for sure looked like it. A couple years ago, that's why Grant Williams went. He was a first-round pick. He got the data. He got the feedback he needed. And you can't blame him. He made a good decision. He's doing a good job for the Celtics. Springer did good under the basket tonight. Yeah, I agree, Bruno. I think both guys they're first-round picks. There's no way they're not. You can't sit here and tell me that there's 30 better players than those guys. If they second round's real good for baseball, oh yeah, especially when you had the 5-round draft this past year. Normally the way I see it, a lot of times you get it in the first 10 rounds. If you get drafted at all, it's awesome, but especially first 10 rounds. But first couple of rounds in baseball is phenomenal right there, and your bonuses are through the roof. Second round with basketball is a little more risky, because you're not guaranteed that contract. First round, you're guaranteed that contract. Second round, you got a chance, but you see somebody like Admiral Schofield, second round pick, and now he's kind of bouncing around. I think he was is he in the D or G League now, where he did some good things last year. But what's the thing with that? They have a way, they have a chance to make their way back. But I wish they would come back next year, because I would really love to see Springer and Keon Johnson with Kenny Chandler. This guy's a stud coming in next year. He's a true point guard. He's fast. He's not the fastest. He's not, his team, I think it was last night, or maybe it's been within the last couple nights, beat the number one high school team in the nation. They were on one of the ESPN channels. and he had a big night on there as well. He's a stud, great recruitment guy out of Memphis. Memphis can claim all they want. Yeah, they slow played or whatever. They're wrong. They wanted him. They didn't get him. We need a ball handler. He's coming next year, Bruno. I mean, it'd be awesome if we had him this year, but he is definitely coming next year. And he's going to be a stud. He was a stud last night. He's going to be next year as well. I'm just curious to see who else is going to be around him next year, because I think you got the potential to lose a few guys. Maybe hit that transfer portal. If there's smoking scholarships and there's some good transfers out there, you need to pounce on them next year, and not just somebody. Some of these transfers haven't panned out, and we need immediate impact right there. But we're hitting almost that hour mark. I appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. This was kind of honestly an impromptu live Orange Blazer tonight. I was going to do a recording, figure what the heck, we can go live with this thing tonight. I figured you guys in the comments could drive this thing. And it's Kentucky, man. I mean, I can't pass up opportunity to go live for Kentucky, not basketball. I think we're on the same thing. Respect the hell out of the program, but cannot stand them. And, anytime we beat Kentucky, wow, such a great night. And again, doesn't matter if they're 0-20 or 20-0. You go to Rupp Arena and win, it's big. And, some of you guys have posted on here about Rick Barnes was first coach to go up and win back-to-back at Rupp. Thinking of some of the coaches over the years. Did they even win 2 times at Rupp? And now Rick has won back-to-back there. That's awesome. And, but blue trash. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Eric Ash? Thanks for tuning in, man. Big win tonight. Again, it's awesome. Awesome beat Kentucky. I feel like I'm getting repetitious at this point with it. So that's probably a good time to start wrapping up. But this has been fun. I enjoyed coming live with you guys. Again, we're going live tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Who knows what we may discuss? We may bring this up. We'll obviously probably talk some football. We'll obviously probably make our Super Bowl predictions. Spoiler alert, I'm not going against number 12 tomorrow. He's going to cement his place as the GOAT tomorrow. And, of course, I'm kind of biased, being a Raiders fan. I can't pull for the Chiefs either. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate you tuning in. You guys are what make this possible. We couldn't do this without you. It started out, I know Boogie, Vols JP, and Snake DA, they started this thing. I kind of joined a little bit later on. I know we were doing recordings and stuff then. We had a good time. We had you guys tuning in, but, I took a sabbatical for a bit, just kind of need to get away. Boogie, Vols JP, Dauber, these guys carried it for that time. And, guys, thank Boogie. This dude busts his hind in, week out, putting out videos, getting things going. We appreciate him. Appreciate him giving us the opportunity, because when it all boils down to it, we're all a bunch of fans. We love talking UT. Whether it gets annoying or not at times, obviously. But enough of that. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. And, we'll try to do some of these again going forward. But I don't have any big catchphrase. I'm just going to say, you go to Rupp and win. That's a heck of a win. Go Vols. Beat Kentucky. We'll see you next week. And hope to see you guys tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And we'll see you then.